What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review, and today we have another crazy player forcing one comp to rank 1. This is Ajoe on the Taiwanese server, rank 1 Taiwan, and if you look, it's not even close at all. He's 270 LP, and rank 2 is only 70 LP. He's 200 LP above rank 2, which is just absolutely insane this early in the set. And look at his past 20, man. Domination, and look at the last 20 as far as units he's playing. 20 Elises in his last 20, a lot of Nunu LeBlanc Malzahar, maybe a few games he cut the LeBlanc for something else, or he cut the Nunu for something else, but still playing this comp every single game out of his last 20. Shout out to Clement Chu for talking about this on Twitter. And the idea of this comp is stall rows. This is what Clement said about it. So the keys are: level 8, play 4 Rose and 4 Visionary plus Garen or Mundo. Itemize cast a second carry before LeBlanc/Mel's. Only HP Anomaly for Garen. Giant sized is BIS. Position Sign in front of Violett/Cog for good value. And then backline Jace for Heimer/Mel's. You can see all of these. He even added me at Sub-Zero content alert. Thank you so much, Clement. Making my job easy. I can just pull up the VOD and watch it. And this is the dream, man. People find like cool VODs for me. Just at me on Twitter. I pull them up. And I mean, looking at this guy's match history is absolutely insane. So I cannot wait to watch him play this comp and see how he does it and see how it fares late game and all this kind of stuff. So I'm really hyped here. Early on, we have a couple of watchers, which you think about this comp is theoretically, and another watcher here actually in the Vander. I think a lot of people would see this opener and be like, oh my god, I have family, I could play for family opener. But Ajoe here, not thinking about that whatsoever, thinking more about just playing for this late game board. But you think about this being like a mega tank type comp, we have this Amumu already who would do a great job of holding on these insanely tanky items, so it should be interesting. It's also interesting because we don't actually have a lot of AP items here, right? If you slam like a Gargoyle as your like really tanky Amumu item, you're left with like Infinity Edge plus bow items. This doesn't like make a lot of sense for being like an AP game from items, but obviously this is Component Anvil Galaxy, so we have the possibility of maybe picking something up from there. But let's look at first Augment here. The Psionic Spark one, I would imagine, is pretty solid in this comp, though I don't know exactly who would hold it. Maybe just like Elise or somebody, or like frontline Elise. I don't think maybe you could even think about Scoreboard Scrapper as like a lost streak into fast 8 kind of thing, but it's a little scary. Ooh, the Shimmer Scale one looked really good here, though I have to feel like that is the pickup, because you can go for Mogul's Mail, Gargoyle onto a Mumu, have an insanely tanky Amumu here, and that's going to translate very well into like a really tanky late game. So yep, there's the Mogul's Mail, Gargoyle. Yep, he's going to solo frontline him here, keep Watcher in here. Itemization here, so there's a few options. You could go for like bow and like guarantee a red buff. I imagine he's just going to go for belt here, and like maybe an ideal world like Mogul's Mail, Gargoyle, Warmog sounds like bis, so maybe we can pick that up. The only downside is the other items become quite awkward. No Warmogs here, so mind me, what the heck? I think I'm hearing my cat chewing on some food in the other room. No Warmogs that we can make here. You could just go for Sunfire to complete out your items. The other option is like, I don't know, a JG. Sunfire. It probably has to be Sunfire here. And yeah, it looks like, yep, okay. So we're gonna go for Sunfire here. The only awkward thing is this makes the rest of the items look a little bit weird, but as long as we're farming our gold, ideally even more gold with Smuggler's Mail, and boom, that's 2 already, 2 gold off the Moguls. This is like the start to play this comp from, I would say. You have a really tanky Mumu who's gonna hold these really solid armor items, or just tankiness items in general. We have a Lux too, actually, which I imagine, I haven't watched that much of this Ajoe player, but like I imagine he actually rates Lux pretty highly because he shields more for the units. It makes a lot of sense in an early game like this, especially with the Sunfire. Actually, these items are like perfect because Sunfire, the only thing we lack here is a little bit of damage. Also pretty aggressive level here, with the idea that he just wants to potentially win streak. Oh, 33, oh my god, 33 stacks. We just barely don't get to the 35 for the extra roll, which is so tragic because we could have made gold there actually by selling the Violets. But not the end of the world. Don't imagine that we care too much about Singe 2. Maybe we'll make it, but I'm not that hyped for it, just from the perspective of Amumu's a much better tank. Singe just kind of like a supportive type tank. Whoa! This is crazy, though. The double level for Lux here. Just saying I'm going to play super aggro in this spot and guarantee with the Lux shields that this Amumu lives forever. I mean, looks like we're going to farm here. And the idea is that his thought process is like, we're going to get paid back if this Amumu lives. Like, boom, that's another. I paid a gold, essentially. I lost a gold and interest to level here, but I got paid back. Amumu lived an extra, though, honestly, You could maybe make the argument that with only 4 units in it, we still would have lived. Okay, curious to see itemization here because, yeah, you talk about like Cassiopeia being an item holder. Who else did? Let me pull up Clement's tweet really quick, just because I want to see who he talked about as being the item holder. He said Cass is second carry before LeBlanc, so 4 visionary. So the idea being like Heimerdinger, I would imagine, is like primary Heimerdinger Cass, but we'll see. So items for those. The rod looks really good here. Also picking up the Nocturne is really important here to get in the Automata. So Gunblade, I feel like is like the best item, and certainly when you're playing for a mega tank, I would think you would want to go for that. The only downside is like obviously that leaves you with Last Whisper components, which are awkward. So I'm curious to see what the slam is here. He's looking at JG from just an item economy standpoint. That would make sense. Though, oh, what the heck? Oh, I did not realize that there was audio with this mod. I was like, what's going on here? But okay, we are going to win this fight as well. Yeah, I mean, this opener is fantastic for us. Also, it's interesting to note he's not really holding on to a lot of these visionaries. We're not holding on to the Renata here. He really just cares about playing a strong support and then maybe pivoting later. This Nunu is a unit that he tends to hold on to a lot, it looked like. So maybe we'll see that be held on to, but I don't know. Curious, or maybe he just goes for like the full pivot on level 7 or level 8. We'll see. But okay. Mumu here just making sure there's no way that Camille can wrap on us because Camille is a scary unit. And he's actually even going to think about summoning this JG here. I don't think... Ooh. This is actually really rough. Is he going to lose his streak here to this Camille wrapping? I thought it was going to be okay, but yeah, the Camille ended up wrapping. Can this Mumu just tank through the Camille? The Sunfire is the only way that this fight is winnable. Is that enough? Because Camille heals a lot. I mean, if we win this fight, this is best case scenario here. Oh my god. We won the fight and farmed all of that gold here. That's actually so insane. Ooh, a Vander too as well, who I imagine is going to become the new tank. And we do have 4 Watcher if we want to play it as well for the super... Wow, I'm actually shocked here that he opted to sell Darius there and that he's not thinking of playing for Watcher. Maybe he thinks that Amumu is actually a better tank with Vander with the Automata, because that's the other thing that you would have to drop out of Automata. Picking up tier here is fantastic. This is gonna have to be Shojin. Shojin red buff JG. I mean, oh well, I guess not red buff because we have Sunfire Slam, but Shojin certainly. And JG, I would think so, but we'll see here. There's a Cassiopeia as well, holding onto the Cassiopeia, the Morgana. These are the units that we're going to want to play later. So yeah, not holding on to a lot of the other stuff, but holding on to these important, like the Black Rose units and the Big Visionary. Okay, that is the other potential slam here is the Gwinsu. It makes some amount of sense when you're obviously playing for this really scaling type setup where you're just trying to giga tank. The other thing that I don't know if Clement really mentioned is I imagine this comp fares really well into these Violett comps just because you can stall out the Violett forever. Mana flow, extra mana gen for your backline doesn't look bad. We already have Econ, so raining gold I don't think would be the call here. But it looks like he's actually not interested in that at all. Maybe he's, wow, double Econog. Okay, I mean, the call here has to be that he can actually like potentially fast 9 in this spot, right? That this is the only reason to take double Econog is you can go fast 9, or maybe he can roll an 8 for like infinite frontline. But yeah, the idea being, you know what? Who cares about having Commodog in this spot? Actually, we'll just take double Econog, and this is a comp that obviously, like in an ideal world, you do play for fast 9 in this comp, and we're win streaking here. We have the Mogul's Mail here, so why not actually go fast 9? All right, I love it. I think this makes perfect sense after thinking about it. And yeah, we're still farming gold on the Amumu, and forget to make 40 here, which is just gross from an econ perspective. He did have to sell off some of the units that he would prefer to be playing on this board eventually, but the hope is that he'll find them later. And he's also just playing 2 Sentinel on this board, just really for the extra armor to mar onto Amumu, I think. I'm quite surprised that he decided to play that. Yeah, or even just Bruiser for a little bit of extra HP. I'm really shocked that he didn't hold on to the Watchers for the 4 Watcher setup with Scar. I have to imagine that was just an oversight and that he missed that because this would definitely be stronger than what we currently have here. But still, I mean, this is good enough. He also opted to move items to the Zoe because, you know, Zoe 1 tends to be better than the Lux, and also just, you know, gives our board some actual damage. Lux, the tankiness, we kind of have enough tankiness. We really just need some actual damage at this point. All right, so Bow here, Glove open, could look for just the super triple caster and go for Nashers here. Glove could also be like a guard breaker if you want something like that. All right, so none of that. So I guess Bow or our tier here can be picked up for like a static Shiv, just to guarantee some armor shred. Also, my nose, I feel like I need to sneeze, but I can't sneeze. You ever had that happen to you guys? Okay, Kog'Maw going onto this board just to make it a bit stronger. But I mean, this is the easiest fast 9 of all time. This is a huge win streak. And, you know, obviously, I think the idea behind this board is stabilizing around that version that Clement talked about, the 4 Visionary, 4 Black Rose. But obviously, if you can go fast 9, there are a lot of fantastic units that you can fit onto this board. And I think the secret sauce, it sounds like, because lots of people were doing fast 9 Black Rose, but what most people weren't doing is really digging for that tank on the Anomaly. So it'll be interesting to see what the Anomaly selection is. Obviously, maybe I can just pause before the Anomaly that he ends up taking and then translate that. That's probably the easiest thing for me to do. But still, like, really, really cool. Like tech, so many like little anomaly techs being discovered. I feel like every day, which is cool to see. I would say for sure. All right, Amumu solo frontline here. This is the most important fight. This is worth so much gold if we can pick this up. I think we should be fine just because this Amumu is it's so hard for Camille to get through, and the Gwinsu Shojin is going to do a lot of work. Yeah, beautiful fight with the static shiv as well. Yeah, this is awesome. So I mean, 10 streak here, the spot looks amazing. The only question is, when do we go 9, actually? And when do we start pivoting into our board? Remember, still holding onto those Morganas, still holding to the Nunus. This kind of stuff, like holding onto these units, is quite important because especially once we go 9 and when we go level 8, it's going to be really, really hard to find Morganas. So having these early, just having these right now is quite important. There's the Vladimir as well, and another Visionary in the Rel. Wow, he's actually going to roll a good bit on 8 here. So this is going to be great because this is going to show us the entire board that he wants to play for. He's just going to roll it down for this board, picks up the Heimerdinger already. So this is fantastic for us. There's Jace as well, which I know Clement talked about in the tweet. So not the full pivot made here, but going to move some of these items over to Garen here. Going to end up making the Warmogs like we called out earlier. We have Ionic Spark as well as a potential slam, but we already have Static Shiv, so probably not that. Yeah, the rest of the items, I mean, I guess you could go for like a Declaw. And he's just going to leave these items onto Heimer to get him casting. So we didn't actually completely finish the pivot there. This is a lot of the board. But this is great, actually, because I was kind of afraid we were going to skip level 8 completely, and so we weren't going to be able to talk about that here. But now we can talk about level 8. A lot of trash here. He's going to go for the... I mean, Call to Cast is probably the best option here. What did we get here? What? Oh, a bunch of XP, right? Because he's level 9 all of a sudden. He got the one... Yeah, look at that. All of this XP here, so now we can just push 9. Okay, I mean... This did a good job of showing what the board wants to be on 8 and like what you want to play for. Also, wow. I mean, you can't be mad about hitting this 2-star here. I mean, we're triple econ augment is the only scary thing this game. JG onto there. Okay, so I guess we don't completely get to see the default version of the board because we just got to go fast 9 with Call to Chaos. But we still get to see a lot of, he really likes playing for the vertical Black Rose. He really likes to play for the I'm actually surprised we don't have 4 Visionary in here with the amount of, units that we can fit onto this board. He's actually gonna, oh, this is perfect actually. Boom, this is his team planner. Oh, I accidentally went back because I didn't think that he was gonna pause and show it again. So this is a weird board. This is 4 Form Swapper. I mean, this is a different version of the board, right? But I mean, this is like a cap that can certainly be played for. The 4 Form Swapper setup looks really, really sick, actually. So the idea being you get Visionary in with this, it links up with the Elise as well. There's just like a lot of inbuilt synergy here with the Form Swapper. You even get Scrap in with the Rumble here, which is pretty cool. I don't think GP is anything else but 4 Form Swapper. It's also, you even get Academy in. Yeah, Academy in here. This is a cool way to cap out the board. So maybe that's one version of the level 9. I don't know if that's the case, then who you would be putting these tank, the big tank Anomaly onto. So as far as Visionaries here, we have 3 in. We'd love to fit Rel onto our board, right? Though he ended up selling Rel, and there's not really... I mean, the biggest place that you could fit it in... I mean, wait, yeah. I think this looks a lot better. Sadly, I don't know why he ended up actually selling Rel, because, you want to be playing for... like, that would be Sentinel here. I think he probably just... I mean, it's crazy to say, but he's actually, it seems like he's obviously familiar with this line, but a few mistakes being made on this game, which is crazy to think about the fact that like he made a few mistakes and still this guy's rank 1 easily. So it just goes to show maybe how strong this line is, or just how much of a beast he is at piloting the line, outside of a few tiny little things. All right, can't pick up Heimer here. A bunch of cloaks here. Just going to go for Rod. The idea being we need some more damage items at this point in the game, I guess. We kind of are good on the rest of the stuff. There's LeBlanc, who's fantastic here. So now we're going to get the 5 Black Rose into the board. And we can start looking towards what the kind of like max cap version is going to be. Because obviously we have this Rumble 2 here. I imagine that we will still end up cutting something. I mean, I guess you can't really cut the Vlad. You could cut the Cassiopeia, right? She's not even like there's no dominator on this board. So I imagine you would cut that to end up playing around just 4 visionary here. But I mean, maybe he really values the 5 black rose in this spot. We'll see as the game goes on. I really want to see if he ends up seeing a rel in his shop, if he ends up buying it and what he ends up doing it. But okay, we're gonna go into Anomaly here. Like I said, I think it's hard to like 40% what. I think I will just wait and see whichever one he ends up wanting to take here. Oh, this is every I think this is the every you get a 12% extra max HP, and then every 3 seconds gain another 12% max HP. Yeah, I think that is definitely the one that it is, which makes a lot of sense, right? It seems like one of anything that is making your unit tankier. So there's that one. There's the one that makes him really tanky, like gain a bunch of HP, the 1000 HP one. I imagine there's also the one that gives you a percent max HP health shield is another thing to go for. But yeah, this is kind of cool because it's like a lot of people are playing towards this like 6 Sentinel version of Heimer, but this like maintains a lot of the tankiness of 6 Sentinel Heimer, but it's still you get the value out of like of getting Black Rose in for some extra frontline, extra CC. Also, the board just fits together pretty nicely. Obviously, this board's kind of crazy because we ended up hitting the random 2-star Rumble on the roll down, but I think like normally we would have 4 Visionary in here, and just yeah, you could go 4 Visionary for well. Yeah, you 4 Visionary for Black Rose and then Garen in because you have a Visionary Black Rose in the Morgana. But okay, I mean, at this point, 34 gold. I imagine we're going to start rolling more soon. There's Heimer too. I really just want to keep my eyes peeled for this Rel and see if he goes for it. Also, he ended up moving the Moguls over. Moguls, a great econ item, but not the best tank item once you get to like late game. So he says, you know what, I'm just going to put this onto my Rumble here. It also looks like the board capped out pretty well. And there are a lot of versions. Like he's got that 4 Shapeshifter version that he team plannered out. But then, you know, maybe there's some other versions that you can play around. All right. I mean, I have to imagine this is just damage item here. Shojin, it could be. The other option would be like an Archangels, because you are playing for a really stally type comp. I imagine it's Shojin. Yeah, onto the LeBlanc, just because you want to get the cast off faster. We don't have scrap in right now, but once again, maybe once we get to the GP, which is sitting in shop here. So he could play the GP if he wants to. It's just that the board he was showing didn't have Garen onto it, though. I guess you could replace I mean, he's level 9, so that would have a slot for it. But okay, not gonna hold on to the GP here. So not okay, so I'm just gonna choose to ignore that thing that he team plannered there earlier, because it seems like he doesn't care about playing around that and he just wants to play this. Honestly, it looks like he wants to go 10. He knows I have Rumble 2. I'm playing for the win out in this spot. 38 HP, why not just go fast 10? I can certainly live 2 more rounds and then go fast 10 at that point, though. Ooh, it's a really scary giant Camille here. Hopefully she doesn't wrap to backline again. Okay, no, she is gonna go to the Garen, so we can see how tanky this Garen is with all these items. So I mean, this is a huge Camille 3, and he just lasted quite a few ults. But I think this Camille, yeah, that's the invisibility Camille. I think it is the Anomaly here, which was really rough. Actually, it made our Heimer walk up. I also do think ideally we want to get this Shiv off of Heimer. The kind of scary part about our Heimer items here is just there's no damage. You'd love an Archangel, a Death Cap, even that JG that's on Rumble would be nice. The problem is you can't really like. If you moved JG to Heimer, then where would I mean, I guess you could put the Shiv onto LeBlanc, but it's a Rumble 2. So, you know, you don't really want to move that off of him because Rumble 2, pretty good. But yeah, I mean, Heimer doing a lot of work getting all these rockets. I mean, also mana gen is some amount of damage onto Heimer, so not bad by the at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, the board lasted so long, we're going to lose another fight here. I mean, we're 83 gold here, so I would say losing this fight, not bad, but we really got to turn it on here. I imagine we're going to look for a Heimer item here, but we'll see. Like, move Shiv over, go Guardbreaker or JG on Heimer. I guess JG here. And yeah, looks like it. But yeah, I mean, at this point, level Rel is like the perfect in on this board, but we could also look for like better 5 costs to play. So we'll see what he goes for here. Malzahar is also fantastic just to have a solid unit onto your board. So, ooh, and there's Mal's 2 really fast. JG gonna be moved over now. Oh yeah, and then this other JG, he's finally like, you know what, I'm fed up with the Rumble at this point, and especially now that we're playing around Vertical Visionary. Shojin there, Shojin over there, JG there, and then Shiv there, and then kind of interesting actually that Mal's ends up. Oh, Wit's End. Wait, where did we get a Wit's End from? What? Oh, that's lovely. He reforged the Moguls here, saying, you know what, most items at this point in the game are going to be better than Moguls. Ooh, we do. I mean, I was going to say, if there is a comp that counters this, it would be Kog'Maw, right? Kog'Maw feels like the hardest counter for this, but we're 4 HP. I don't want to bother you any kind of 8th, so I mean, hopefully I didn't mess up here. But I mean, we have hit an insanely capped board. And yet the Wit's End is actually fantastic here. All right, this guy level 8, I feel like we should just absolutely stomp through this board, especially with the D-Claw here onto the Garen. There's actually so much AP in this lobby. Good call out by Ajoe here to realize that the lobby is so AP heavy. And yeah, look how long this Garen is lasting against a lot of DPS from the Rebel here. A ton of people dead here. Only one more fight win to be guaranteed top 4 in this spot, so we'll see. And yeah, maybe who's the is the win streaker the Kog'Maw player? Maybe that Kog'Maw player's spot is just insane. I didn't catch it. And I mean, to be fair, we are zero combat augments in this spot, so this is, I mean, it's level 10, so it's very good, but it's also probably the weakest that the comp would ever be. All right, pick up a death cap here. Ooh, this looks really nice for the mouse, because I was gonna say the Wit's End is a little, I mean, it's, you know, we were quite happy that we got Wit's End instead of, you know, some, you know, terrible, the one that Spectral Cutlass. Ooh, great positioning by the Scion. Remember, this is what this is what was called out in the tweet there, that Scion getting that full res and the CC onto the Violett, really important. And look at this, Violett just stuck. That was a Violett 4. I know there's a lot of people out there who are so sick and tired of the Violett 4 comps. We just absolutely stomped them with just putting the Scion in front and then just having Garen sit there as well. I mean, it's fantastic. All right, yeah, it looks like the Kog'Maw board is the one that's win streaking super hard, and yeah, they have Gigabis Kog'Maw, 3 items onto the 3-star Zeri as well, and a triple item Scar with a D-Claw. This is scary. I wonder if now that we have the death cap onto the Mals, can we get through all this stuff? We're both stall comps. The question is just who is a better stall comp. The Scion ends up going down. Maybe we can actually snipe past. I mean, okay, actually, I mean, we stomped this guy. There is some idea now that I think about it as well. Maybe if you have a tanky enough frontline, maybe you can make this matchup work, just because of the fact that Kog'Maw can bypass the front line. If you get enough kills, then you can send a few rockets to backline, and maybe that just like little splash of rockets is enough to kill. Oh, look at this, by the way, just making sure the Scion is in front of those melee carries, disrupting as much as possible. This is an 8 pit fighter board, so this will be a really good see of like how strong this board is. I mean, even if we lost to this board, I wouldn't be shocked if we lost to it, because this board is insane. Guaranteeing for a while our front line does end up going down, but oh my god, the Mouse just chews through everyone. I thought he was losing that fight, but the Mouse chewed through everything at the last second. It is a top 2 here. Just looking for another LeBlanc item here, right? Adaptive Helm looks really good in this spot. And yeah, all right. The question is, can we continue to beat this Kog'Maw board? We beat it that one time there, but honestly, that felt pretty good. Fight RNG wise. Yeah, really just always trying to make sure Science in front of their most important unit to disrupt, right? Even there's no melee carry, there's just a Scar here. But even Scar, just disrupting the Scar, making sure that he doesn't cast as quickly as possible would be really nice. Sadly, he doesn't get the swap off. Scar ends up jumping up to the front line. He's, oh my god, he's seeing so much of our back line. It's so rough when he gets in that back line and CCs. So look at the Garen. The Garen's full HP here. Heimer cast, yeah, and just barely not enough. I think this definitely seems like one of the toughest matchups, but we absolutely stomped that Violett board. And this was once again 0 combat augments. We obviously got to level 10 with the fact that we took triple econ, but imagine if we had some combat augments and we were, you know, maybe even just level 9 with one less unit on the board, but able to beat this Kog'Maw board with, you know, some kind of augment that makes a scale. I don't know, but a really cool comp. Psyched to see it, and I know you guys love when you hard force comps, and they do well, so I'm sure you guys will love it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. I don't know if I said, but I'm definitely gonna leave a link to Clement's Twitter down below. Thanks again to Clement for spotlighting this comp. He does a lot of really good stuff, so I'll definitely leave a link down below, so go follow him if you're at all interested in seeing like new niche tech that's happening on all of these different servers. So yeah, okay, see you guys in the next video. Bye.